उन्होंने पहले सबसे पहले जो स्ट्रक्चर्स थे भारत
From the Delhi studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Arnab Goswami on the debate at 9. Presented by Amity University. Powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group. Century Ply. Club Prime. PolicyBazaar.com. Co-powered by Sera.
Good evening and welcome, viewers. Pause for a moment as an Indian tonight and let it sink in. India has rescued its 41 trapped laborers, our workers. We did it. 17 days after the tragedy in Uttarkashi, we did it. Ladies and gentlemen, 408 hours and more. Ladies and gentlemen, we did it. Insatiable hope binding us together. We did it. A billion prayers later, we did it. And in an operation led and monitored by the Prime Minister of India, personally, we did it. We did it with the SDRF, with the NDRF, with the BRO, with the Indian Army, with the CRPF, with the state police, and pan-India rescue workers coming together. We did it together, ladies and gentlemen. In a country where we have long been told and long seen this reality that there is no value for human life. In a country where ambulances have been stuck in VVIP cavalcades decade after decade after decade. In a country where we have been long branded as the onlookers, as the chalta hai, the hota rehta hai, we came out and we did it. This moment, this visual that you're seeing tonight, ladies and gentlemen, if I can take a pause right now and run those pictures full frame and talk to you over the visuals for a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Just imagine as you're seeing these pictures tonight, full frame if possible, as you're seeing these pictures of the rescue, as you're seeing the ministers and the chief minister talk to the trapped laborers who are coming out after more than 400 hours of a death-defying ordeal. What comes across most strongly in these visuals is that in this country today we value human life. We value the effort that goes into making the tunnels and the infrastructure. We take nobody for granted. And not just for 41, but if it was even one worker, if it was even one shramik, one laborer who was stuck there, the government of India would have gone all out, and the might of the government of India and every machinery at our disposal would have gone to save the lives of those workers. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, these 41 laborers now, they go back to their families after the Diwali morning that changed it all for them when the tunnel collapsed. When we see these pictures, and I'll show you some more right now, I would say, viewers, watch these visuals. If I can keep changing the visuals, please. Watch these visuals. There are other visuals as well. And remember, in this visual, the country is changing. This shows that the country is changing. This shows that the culture of this country is changing. If India is to become a superpower, we need this effort, this emotion, this sentiment. This moment is no ordinary moment. This achievement is no trivial achievement. This triumph is no minuscule victory, because what India has won and shown the world today, and through every moment of the last 17 days, is the fact that we are not going to give up. We are not going to give up on any one Indian trapped. That we will go to every depth and not leave. Like the Prime Minister said, not a single stone unturned in our efforts to protect our people and to keep them safe. So human life matters in India, and that is why I believe this country is destined to be a superpower. We have shown tenacity, we have shown patience, and we have shown the resilience both from the side of every one of the 41 trapped workers who kept their faith, their calm, knowing their nation is coming to their rescue, as well as the resilience of every rescue worker who for the last 26 hours and more have not for a single minute paused the manual drilling. They just went on and on and on and on and on, ladies and gentlemen, till they reached the 41 workers. And then they gave them a hug and brought them back safe to their homes. That is resilience. That is tenacity. That is nation first. What India has shown in these 17 days is tenacity, determination, persistence, and perseverance in utmost difficulty. The firmness of purpose while hitting every roadblock through the last 17 days. Adversity even till the final moments when the auger machine had to be removed and the Indian Army Engineer Regiment was called in for manual drilling. Many people said it could not happen. And of course, you have some people who want to take political advantage, putting out memes and things like that, but those who were working with single-minded focus, ekagrata. 6 plans were adopted in a synchronized manner to conquer every adversity, to push through successfully and bring our men home. What India and Indians have shown the world in these 17 days, through this struggle and then this victory, is that as a country we are changing, we value human life, and we will never give up. We just won't give up. We will persist, we will persevere, we will endure whatever it takes for our people. And our people, 41 of whom have shown unmatched courage, will never give up hope on the nation itself. We will never let a moment of misfortune define our destiny, ladies and gentlemen. We will unite and make heaven and earth come together to turn it around for moments like these. For moments like these in history define us as Indians. We as Indians are proud tonight of having the leadership that we do with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and every pillar of the rescue operation team coming together to bring our boys home. As a nation, we stand united in our pride, in our efforts, and what this has shown the world is about the nation that we are. What a moment this is. What an achievement. And remember, these visuals go across the world, and the whole world has got only one message today: that in moments of crisis, India comes together. In moments of difficulty, India comes together. In moments when we are challenged, India comes together. And even when one Indian or 41 Indians' lives are at stake, the whole country come together. How many countries can say that? That is what makes us special. And that is what we are debating, discussing, and reporting live. Ladies and gentlemen, the big story of the day: the 41 workers rescued after 17 days of a very difficult operation. This is India's victory tonight. Debate 2, the controversy over the burqa ramp walk. Debate 3, holiday appeasement of a new kind by the India Alliance in Bihar. That's debate 3, and here are the headlines this Tuesday evening on the Debate Tonight. A 17-day wait finally ends. 41 trapped workers are successfully rescued from the collapsed tunnel. A challenging mission that was watched by the entire world. This is a victory of over 1 billion Indians. Prime Minister Narendra Modi salutes the resilience of the workers and lauds those involved in the rescue operations.
गले लगाया, हमें लोगों ने उठा लिया, उन्होंने हमें।
अच्छा, उठा लिया, कंधे पर उठा लिया था। सभी लोग सकुशल हैं।
बहुत बढ़िया, एकदम फिट, गले मिले, बहुत खुश हुए हम।
We'll cut straight to it. 17-day mission, 26 hours of non-stop manual drilling ensures success. Republic salutes the rescue teams. A fashion show by burqa-clad women angers Muslim groups. Pro-hijab lobby completely silent. And the Nitish government cuts down Hindu holidays from the school calendar. BJP fires appeasement charge.
का सामना न करना पड़े। मैं सभी श्रमिक भाइयों को उनके उज्जवल भविष्य के लिए, उज्जवल जीवन के लिए मैं उनको सबको शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। उनके परिजनों को भी, उनको भी शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। और लगातार इतना कठिन चुनौतीपूर्ण काम, जिसमें आपने देखा कि ऑगर मशीन मंगाई गई और पहले इंदौर से मंगाई गई, हैदराबाद से मंगाई गई, और जिस प्रकार से मशीन बार बार अंदर टूट जा रही थी, जिस प्रकार से फंस जा रही थी, वहां पर गडर आ जा रहे थे, तमाम हार्ड रॉक आ जा रही थी, उसके कारण से वो बार बार रुक रही थी। लेकिन जो हमारे दिल्ली जल बोर्ड के और गोरखपुर से जो नीचे जाकर मैनुअल माइनिंग करने वाले थे, उन सभी का भी मैं अपनी ओर से धन्यवाद भी करता हूं, उनका मैं अभिनंदन करना चाहता हूं। मैं सभी से एक एक से अभी मिला हूं और उन मजदूर भाइयों से भी मिला हूं जो बाहर निकल कर आए हैं। सभी लोगों ने कहा कि हमको हर संभव, कभी अंदर किसी प्रकार की परेशानी नहीं हुई। निश्चित रूप से ये हम लोगों के लिए एक बहुत सुकून वाली बात है कि इतना बड़ा एक आपदा आने के बाद भी सारे लोग जो है सकुशल बाहर निकल पाए। सभी देखिए अलग अलग थे, जैसे कि अंदर विशेष रूप से जो हमारी शुरू से बात हो रही थी उसमें सबा अहमद, गब्बर ही आकर, चूंकि उनके लिए बहुत ही भावुक क्षण था, लेकिन उसके बावजूद भी उन्होंने कहा कि हमको किसी परेशानी का कोई सामना नहीं। सर मेरा सवाल अहम है, उनको मैं बता रहा हूँ, उनको उन्होंने ये कहा कि मैंने कहा आप लोगों को अंदर किसी प्रकार की कुछ चिंता तो नहीं हो रही थी? उन्होंने कहा नहीं, शुरू के दिनों में जरूर हमको चिंता हुई, लेकिन उसके बाद से जब आपसे बात हो गई, अन्य सभी लोगों से लगातार कम्युनिकेशन होने लगा, तो हमको पूरा भरोसा हो गया था कि आप लोग हमारी चिंता कर रहे हैं और हम अंदर नहीं रहेंगे, हम बाहर निकलेंगे।
एक मिनट, सवाल ये है कि क्या आप जो रेस्क्यू करने गए हैं,
नहीं वो अच्छा प्रश्न पूछा, मैं बता रहा हूँ। एक मिनट इन्होंने जो पूछा मैं बताता हूँ। देखिए ऐसा है, नहीं अरे पहले एक मिनट, अरे इन्होंने जो पूछा मैं बता रहा हूँ। देखिए ऐसा है, ये सब लोगों ने बैठ के तय किया था कि जो सबसे छोटे होंगे उनको सबसे पहले निकाला जाएगा, और जो टीम लीडर है वो 5 लोग वो सबसे अंत में निकले। तो ये हाँ, एज में और जो भी क्राइटेरिया बनाया गया था,
सर सबको निकाल लिया गया है, सबको निकाल
नहीं। जिस दिन देखिए ये 16 तारीख को जिस दिन ये अभियान तेजी से चल रहा था और लगभग 24 मीटर के आसपास पहुंच गया था, अचानक वाइब्रेशन तेज होने लगा और मशीन भी अंदर जाकर फंस गई। वो मोमेंट बहुत ही कठिन था, और चूंकि उस दिन मैं एक कार्यक्रम के बाद मैं जैसे ही भोजन करने को जाने वाला था 3-3:30 बजे, और मुझे जैसे सूचना मिली तो वो मुझे एकदम से बहुत बड़ा मुझे एक झटका जैसा लगा। लेकिन मेरा ईश्वर पर और बाबा बौखनाथ पर पूरा भरोसा था कि वो निश्चित रूप से सबका जीवन बचाएंगे, सबको सुरक्षित बाहर निकालेंगे, और उनका आशीर्वाद
पूछने दो। तमाम मजबूर अब आगे की प्रक्रिया क्या होगी? देखिए अभी उनको अस्पताल भेजा जाएगा, 24 घंटे के ऑब्जर्वेशन में रखा जाएगा, उनको घर भेजा जाएगा।
देखिए ऐसा है कि अभी वो सारे के सारे एक लंबी, चूंकि हवा पानी और एक अलग वातावरण से बाहर आए हैं, तो अभी जो डॉक्टरों की सलाह होगी उसके आधार पर ही हम लोग काम करेंगे। उसके आधार पर उसके बाद उनको घर भेजना होगा या जो भी करना होगा, पहले मेडिकल सुपरविजन में उनको रखा जाएगा, उनकी मॉनिटरिंग की जाएगी, उसके बाद आगे की कार्रवाई।
कोई क्रिटिकल तो नहीं है सर?
नहीं, कोई क्रिटिकल नहीं, सारे सामान।
एक मिनट इनको पूछने दो, उसके बाद आपके पास आ रहे हैं।
सर वर्कफोर्स कितना था, कितने लोगों को लगाया हुआ था, खासतौर पे अगर ऑपरेशंस की बात करें?
कितना बड़ा मैग्नीट्यूड इन टर्म्स ऑफ नंबर?
इन टर्म्स ऑफ
देखिए, अब ये नंबर तो मैं आपको देख के बता दूंगा, लेकिन इसमें जिन जिन लोगों की भी आवश्यकता पड़ी और देश के अंदर और विदेशों में भी जो टेक्नोलॉजी और जो विशेषज्ञ इसके थे, हमने सभी से कंसल्ट किया था और जो सबसे अच्छा रेस्क्यू हो सकता था उस तरफ हम लोग बढ़े। हालांकि कठिनाई आई।
एक मिनट बात कंप्लीट कर लेंगे। जी सर, बोलिए।
जी सर, तो वो अभी एस्टिमेट लगाना मुश्किल है,
वो आपको बता देंगे अलग से। और जितने भी लोग लगे
यहाँ पे कौन थे? आप थे? आपका हो गया।
आप भी बाबा बागनाथ के मंदिर में गए, वीके सिंह भी बाबा बागनाथ के मंदिर में गए। गांव वालों का कहना है कि जब तक मंदिर नहीं बनेगा हम आगे काम नहीं होने देंगे। क्या सरकार
वो पहले ही हम लोगों ने तय कर लिया है कि मंदिर वहाँ पर बनेगा, बाबा बागनाथ की कृपा से।
गाँव वालों से पूछने से पहले ही वो डिसाइड हो गया।
डिसाइड हो गया ऑलरेडी। सो मोटो हम लोगों ने लिया है।
एक मिनट बाबा, एक मिनट।
इस पूरी कड़ी में रैट माइनर्स की भूमिका कितनी अहम थी? वो अंतिम पड़ाव में आए और पूरा ये
आपने शायद, मैंने जो सबसे पहले बीच में बोला था, आपने शायद उसको ध्यान नहीं दिया। वो उनकी बहुत बड़ी भूमिका थी। दिल्ली जल बोर्ड से भी आए थे, गोरखपुर से भी आए हुए थे। उन लोगों ने मैनुअली जाकर जो काम किया वो बहुत निर्णायक इस पूरे अभियान को निर्णय तक पहुंचाने का काम उन्होंने भी किया है।
सर मजदूरों के लिए किसी राहत राशि का ऐलान किया गया, कोई समर्थन राशि उनके लिए?
नहीं, सभी
सर समर्थन राशि, राहत राशि।
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने ट्वीट किया है, फर्स्ट डे से लास्ट दिन तक वो चुनावी व्यवस्था के बावजूद इस पर मॉनिटरिंग करते रहे। उनकी संवेदनाएं पूरे देश ने देखी है, क्या कहेंगे?
मैंने आपको वो शुरुआत में ही कहा था कि माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का अगर इतना विशेष इस पर अभियान पर ध्यान नहीं होता, विशेष उनका जोर नहीं होता, तो इतना कठिन चुनौतीपूर्ण अभियान इस तरीके से पूर्ण करना आसान नहीं होता। और उन्होंने, और अभी भी उनका कितना ध्यान है कि प्रातःकाल जब वो चुनाव अभियान में निकलते होंगे, प्रत्येक दिन जानकारी लेते थे और किस प्रकार से रेस्क्यू अभियान को चलाना है उस प्रकार से करते थे। एक तरह से मैं उत्तराखंड का मुख्य सेवक हूँ, मुझे उन्होंने एक काम दिया हुआ था कि किसी भी तरीके से इस काम को सफलता की ओर ले जाना है। इसको सफल करना
है। कोई और है?
सर आपने कब ठाना कि मुझे यहाँ कैंप करना पड़ेगा और आपने लगातार कैंप किया?
नहीं, मैं दीपावली के अगले दिन यहाँ आया था।
Location are our reporters Akil from Republic TV English and Shrishti, our anchor from Republic Bharat. Akil, I will first come to you. You have some of the people who have worked in this operation with you. You've been reporting incessantly from the spot and done a splendid job. What was the turning point? You know, and when was it clear that this is going to achieve success?
Well, absolutely. When the rescuers team basically called in the rat miners, they have played a very significant role in this entire process, because what we have been seeing that after 45 meters of distance covering from the Silkyara end of the tunnel, there was an obstruction, a major hole which has occurred, because of which the girdle got stuck inside that auger part, and due to which the auger machine wings, the fins of that auger spiral machine has got broken down. So that was a major stumble block, and after that the rat miners have been called in, and that rat miners have told us to the Republic TV in an exclusive interview that they will take just 36 hours to complete this process, and with the end of that 36 hours they have completely completed that process. Right now I'm joined by the rat miners
incredible.
who have been constantly working on that project, on that mission right now. Yes. So right now I'm joined by the rat miners team, and we are going to speak to them. आप मुझे बताएं, ये जो पूरा प्रोसेस था उसको किस तरीके से देखते हैं आप?
सर, ये मेरी जिंदगी का बहुत बड़ा गर्व का पल है जो मुझे एक काम करने का मौका मिला और हमारी टीम को काम करने का मौका मिला। ऐसा मौका जिंदगी में किसी को मिलता है और वो मुझे मिला, और इस मौके को मैं किसी भी कीमत पे हिट करना चाह रहा था और ऊपर वाले ने ये करा दिया।
अच्छा, कितने लोगों की टीम थी आपकी? जो रैट माइनस की टीम थी उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा डिटेल से हमें बताएं, क्योंकि ये जो सिग्निफिकेंट मेजर ब्रेक थ्रू था वो रैट माइनस की टीम के बाद था, क्योंकि वो वहां पे जब स्टम्बल ब्लॉक्स आ गए, ऑगर मशीन ने काम करना बंद कर दिया, तो मैनुअल ड्रिलिंग स्टार्ट हुई, और मैनुअल ड्रिलिंग के अंदर सबसे बड़ा कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन आप लोगों का था।
सर आप ठीक कह रहे हैं, बट ऑगर ने बहुत अच्छा काम किया, लेकिन ऑगर थोड़ा सा आगे जाके जहां पर सरिया आया वो फंस गया था। उस पे फिर मैनुअली हमारे लड़कों ने काम करके अंदर 800 mm के डाए बैठ के वो सरिया को हटाया, पाइप्स को हटाया, और जो लेटेस्ट गार्डर थे उनको हटाया, फिर उनको रास्ता बना के बिल्कुल स्मूथ करने के बाद फिर पाइप का पुश किया। तो फिर इसी तरीके से इसी प्रोसेस से हम आगे की मिट्टी
क्या मैं उनसे बात कर सकता हूँ?
और फिर आगे बढ़ते हैं
अखिल जी,
और इसी तरीके से
अखिल जी, क्या आप उनको हेडफोन दे सकते हैं? एक मिनट में एक सवाल पूछना चाहता हूँ उन्हें।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। यस,
नमस्कार, मेरी आवाज आ रही है आपको?
जी सर, मेरी आपकी आवाज आ रही है मेरे
नमस्कार,
पास, बिल्कुल क्लियर।
मैं अर्नब बोल रहा हूँ। पहले तो बहुत बहुत बधाई, मतलब इसको मैं शब्दों में एक्सप्रेस नहीं कर पा रहा, आपने जो किया है और जिस कॉन्फिडेंस से आपने ये फाइनल फेज ऑफ ऑपरेशन को कंप्लीट की।
थैंक यू।
जरा इसको अगर हमें लेमैन टर्म्स में आप समझा सके।
थैंक यू सर।
कि ये इतने कॉन्फिडेंट आप कैसे थे? हमें कहा गया कि जब आपने टेक ओवर किया तो आपने कहा कि 36 घंटों में इसको कंप्लीट करूंगा, तो ये कॉन्फिडेंस कहां से थी? इतनी बड़ी ऑगर मशीन जब फेल हो गई,
जी सर,
तो आप में कॉन्फिडेंस कैसे आई?
जी सर। सर एक्चुअली जो मैं और हमारी टीम है इस काम को काफी टाइम से करते हैं, और मुझे जिस तरीके से काम लग रहा था वो लग रहा था कि मैं उस काम को हिट कर सकता हूं, और मैंने देख भी लिया था, क्योंकि अगर जैसे आगे सरिया में जाके फंस गया था उसको मैनुअली ही खत्म किया जा सकता था, वो ऑगर से खत्म नहीं होता। उसमें हमारे लड़के अंदर घुस के
मैनुअली मतलब क्या? मतलब मैनुअली कह रहे हैं, मतलब
जो गैस
कैसे मशीन यूज करके?
मैनुअली सर ऐसा होता है, हमारे 2 लड़के पाइप के अंदर जाते हैं और मैनुअली उसको जो भी चीजें आगे आती है उसको खत्म करते हैं। सपोज दैट सरिया आ गया या लेटेस्ट गार्डर आ गया या पाइप्स वगैरह आ गया, जो भी आता है उसको गैस वेल्डिंग से या ग्राइंडर से उसको साफ करते हैं, और साफ करके आगे से मिट्टी निकाल के उसको फिर आगे पुश करते हैं पाइप को। सिंपल है सर।
तो इसमें रिस्क भी होता होगा?
बहुत रिस्क होता है सर, बहुत ही ज्यादा रिस्क होता है। अगर मिट्टी गिर जाए तो बहुत मुसीबत क्रिएट हो जाती है सर, हाथ पैर भी टूट जाता है, इंसान मर भी जाता है। बट इसमें हम इतने परफेक्ट हो चुके हैं, हम बहुत काम ऐसे ही करते हैं सर, यही हमारा वर्क है।
अमेजिंग,
एक्सपर्ट है।
और क्या अगर आप हमें अलाउ करें, आपके अंडर कोई 1 या 2 वर्कर हैं, क्या उनसे हम सुन सकते हैं कि उनकी क्या एक्सपीरियंस थी लास्ट फेज पे? क्या वो नर्वस थे कि वो ये कर पाएंगे कि नहीं? क्योंकि पूरी देश का फोकस इस पर था। पिछले 17 दिनों से पूरे टीवी चैनल, सारे टीवी चैनल्स इस पर फोकस कर रहे थे। तो मैं ये जानना चाहूंगा आपसे और आपके वर्कर्स से कि क्या उन पर कोई प्रेशर था, दबाव था, मेंटल स्ट्रेस था जब ये ऑपरेशन को कंप्लीट कर रहे थे?
सर मैं वर्कर से बात कर रहा हूँ या फिर मैं ही इसका जवाब दूं?
आप भी दीजिए और वर्कर से भी बात करना चाहेंगे जरूर।
श्योर सर, हम पे इस चीज़ का प्रेशर तो नहीं था, लेकिन हमें एक चीज़ का जज्बा था सर। ये अपॉर्चुनिटी हमारे लाइफ की ऐसी थी सर कि हमें इससे पहले और शायद इससे बाद ना मिलती। सभी लड़कों में इतना जज्बा था, उनका दिल ये कर रहा था कि हम ज़मीन को फाड़ के उनको बाहर लेके आ जाएं। सभी लड़कों का सर, आप अगर उनसे बात करेंगे तो सभी लड़कों के दिल में ये था कि ये काम हम कैसे भी करके हमारे द्वारा पूरी हो सर।
बहुत बड़ी बात आपने कही, बहुत बड़ा मिसाल आपने कायम किया है। अगर कोई भी एक आपके श्रमिक से हम बात कर सके, कोई भी लेबर, कोई भी वर्कर से जो इसमें थे, तो मैं जानना चाहूंगा उनके लिए कैसा था, जो लास्ट स्टेज में इन्वॉल्व थे, कोई अगर हमें कह सके। नमस्कार, मेरी आवाज शायद उनको नहीं आ रही है।
बिल्कुल लास्ट में इन्होंने लास्ट वाला काम इन्होंने किया है।
या मैं ये जानना चाहूंगा। नमस्कार, मैं अर्नब गोस्वामी बोल रहा हूं। भाई साहब नमस्कार जी। नमस्कार। पूरे देश के लोग देख रहे हैं इस प्रोग्राम को, जानना चाहेंगे, ये जानना चाहेंगे कि लास्ट फेज में कैसा रहा। मतलब लास्ट फेज ऑपरेशन का कैसा रहा, अगर आप उसको बता सके हमें।
बहुत अच्छा लगा।
जब आप अंदर गए तो कैसा रहा?
हमें लास्ट में हमें बहुत अच्छा लगा और बहुत उन्होंने हमें गले लगाया, बहुत प्यार करा और बहुत इन्होंने उनको इतनी खुशी थी बहुत, और मेरे को भी इतना, मेरा दिल इतना खुश था बहुत, और आज मैं भी बहुत खुश हूँ उन्हें निकाल के। जी।
आप पे कोई स्ट्रेस थी उस समय आपके, और आप पे रिस्क भी होगा जब आप गए अंदर, कोई चिंता थी आपके मन में?
सर रिक्स रहता है ऊपर, हमें रिक्स रहता है, मगर हमें हमारा जज्बा था जो हमें निकालना था इन्हें, हमने पहले सोच रखा था, जज्बा बना रखा था, और हमारा टारगेट ये था हम इन्हें निकाल के ही जाएंगे, नहीं तो जाएंगे नहीं जब तक ये नहीं निकलेंगे। जी।
पूरा देश आप पर गर्व करता है, पूरा देश आप पर गर्व करता है। थैंक यू वेरी मच, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद भाई साहब, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। What an emotion, amazing, amazing. And I'd like to go now across to our anchor Shrishti from Republic Bharat, also live from the spot in Uttarkashi, from Akil reporting there. Shrishti, आप भी पिछले कई दिनों से नॉन-स्टॉप लाइव रिपोर्टिंग कर रही हैं, तो जब मशीन फेल हो गए तब ये वर्कर्स खुद अंदर गए और ये राइट माइनिंग टेक्निक को यूज करके उन्होंने ऑपरेशन को कंप्लीट किया। तो ये लास्ट 24 घंटे 36 घंटे कैसे रहे?
बिल्कुल सर, जैसा आपने कहा कि इन वर्कर्स ने जो आखिरी 10 मीटर का काम था, इसे ऐसे खुशियों में पूरा।
We lost the line there with her. We'll go back to Shrishti. I have with me General Syed Atta Hasnain of the NDMA with us. Can you hear me, sir?
Perfectly, absolutely, strength 5, Arnab.
General Hasnain? Oh, great, okay, fantastic. I can't see you yet on air, so I can't make out, but what an operation. You know, all of us for the last few days, we watched your press conferences, General Hasnain. You seem to be very methodical about it, in the way you explained it. You didn't seem stressed, you were working to a plan. At any point of time, especially when the auger machine failed, was there a moment of doubt?
See, Arnab, I was very clear what the mission was. The mission given to me was to make sure that the right, transparent message is reaching the public in India. There should be no exaggeration, there should be no false hopes. There should be a correct perspective given to people to hope for what is realistic. I was following that brief completely, which was given to me by the PMO. And I can assure you, we followed that, but yes, your question is absolutely valid. At the particular time when technology started failing us on this horizontal probe we were making, I was also very clear that we have got alternative methods. We had 6 methods going in simultaneously. 3 of them had still not been launched. The equipment was still being brought from all over the country by all different means. We had the alternative of vertical tunneling, which we were about to commence at that time. We took the decision to commence it, despite the fact that it would cause some vibrations on the ground, etc. But that little risk could be taken. But you're right, there was an impending disappointment in the air that we are not succeeding, and we've still got 10 to 15 meters perhaps left. The estimate was 62 meters at that time. It made a world of a difference. You just spoke to all those people who made that difference, the rat miners, the army engineers, the NHDICL people. These people are capable of, particularly the rat miners, are capable of working in enclosed space. Not an easy thing. I can tell you, Arnab, I've crawled up in the Siachen Glacier through a 50-60 meter tunnel. At the end of it, I thought I was almost dead. It's so claustrophobic inside. But these people can work for hours inside, and they can work with implements, hand tools, and even cutting machines. Now today, the whole day, it's not been revealed so much that they were metallic in the metallic obstacles en route, and they actually used metal cutters to actually remove them. The speed which was achieved was almost, well, in 10 meters was achieved in less than 18 hours. My estimate was that they would achieve 3 meters probably in that much time. But they outdid it 3 times, 4 times almost. So it's been an amazing achievement, there's no doubt about it.
Now that's all of this is happening. You know, we saw that first visual. It was just on the screen of the first worker, and the first ray of hope was when we saw the first video. I think it happened on day 10. The first video of the laborers trapped inside the tunnel. Now, when that video came out, did the pressure also increase? Because the video coming out is not proof that the operation is over. It is only proof that the workers are alive, that they are well. But at the same time, as you look at different ways of trying to rescue them, there must be a risk involved with each, because you have to make sure that the workers are not harmed, that you're cutting through the debris, you're cutting through the rocks and the stone, it doesn't collapse a second time. I presume that must have been a real danger throughout.
Absolutely, Arnab. There were ups and downs which were taking place all the time in the last 17 days. It's a divine intervention that at the beginning itself we had one lifeline which was still very much alive, in the sense we had a 4-inch compressor pipe which somehow did not get smashed by the debris fall. And that was the crude communication that we had with the workers. You know, we were using that typical old megaphone kind of a technique of communicating with them. But as you very correctly said, 10th, 11th day is the time when a 6-inch probe which had been sent in was successful. This 6-inch probe, we also sent in a laparoscopic kind of a camera which went in and gave us the first image of a worker from the other end. That created a huge hope. First of all, it proved that they are still healthy. We were so far only presuming that they are healthy. We were only believing what they were telling us. Here, for the first time, we saw in front of us that they are there very much, and the lifeline now started adding to the longevity of the operation, in the sense our ability to take this operation beyond. Because from here, the sustenance started. The Honorable Prime Minister gave orders that cooked food must be sent inside, and that happened immediately. From then onwards, we found cooked food, medicines, clothing, all kinds of implements going inside, and finally a communication line, which the DOT had put up. The SDRF somehow managed to put it together, and a communication was established. Now the relatives could speak. The relatives could speak to their dear ones. And that added tremendously to the psychosocial aspect and the survivability of the 41 inside. So physiologically they were okay. From a psychosocial angle, they were okay. And a lot of care was taken to bring psychosocial specialists there to allow them to, through telemedicine methods, to be able to speak to the people inside. Now, these kind of methods haven't ever been used in the past. This is something which was very novel.
You know, this is so impressive, General Hasnain, because General Hasnain, you know, India as a country is building up its infrastructure very fast. And this episode, and I think you spoke about the Prime Minister's involvement, I think that shows a great deal of personal attention the PM was putting into this. With whatever confidentiality, without breaching confidentiality, can you tell us what was the PMO or the PM's instruction in this? And how closely was he in it?
I can confess to you that the Prime Minister was personally monitoring this throughout. I was in touch with the Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister, Dr. Mishra, who was a source of great strength. He was the one receiving the instructions, all the directions which were coming. He was the one holding the conferences. And there were not too many conferences, I can tell you, Arnab. I think the huge thing here was the trust which was somehow seemed to exist. There was an initial conference. Thereafter, everything was on mobile, on WhatsApp groups, through communication, etc. That's how it was happening. And that trust itself was ensuring that everyone was motivated to give his best. There were people volunteering from all over India.
Yeah.
My mobile phone was absolutely paralyzed. I mean, it was absolutely jammed. The kind of messaging I was getting, offering of help, free of cost.
Wow.
We enabled some of the best talent to move to the spot Some people are camping there even till today, former officials of the Indian Army, etc. They did a marvelous job. Anyone who had something small to offer was coming forward. This is the kind of team effort which was taking place. I also need to add the Prime Minister's office played a huge role as an enabler. Any and every resource which was required, we went back to them, they enabled it. The Indian Air Force played a huge role. The states, different states, starting from Odisha, coming up to Uttarakhand, starting from Gujarat, coming up to Uttarakhand, all the states in the middle, all of them played a role by creating green corridors and ensuring all the equipment which was required moved rapidly. I've never seen this kind of a thing happening in India as such. Everywhere, our officials were talking, and they were deputy commissioners awake at 3 o'clock in the morning, taking calls and ensuring that the movement of these vehicles was never stopped.
I think that's the whole episode. General Hasnain highlights the changing nature of the country. General Hasnain, you've done a remarkable job in looking at this, overseeing it, in communicating it so beautifully to all of us. And it's in professionals like you and the way you put it together that gives this country hope. I thank you for joining me this evening on the Tunnel Victory. Thank you very much, and congratulations, General Atta Hasnain, and from the NDMA. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. What's the learning here? What's the learning here? Let me start with Advaita Kala, who's been waiting for a long time. Advaita, beyond the engineering, beyond the feats, what's the takeaway here for you?
I mean, huge. I am from Uttarakhand, and there is a national, natural disasters are almost a way of life here. And I feel one of the big learnings is just, I hope the country wakes up to the fact how difficult it is for mountain people to survive, and the paucity of immediate facilities. I want to thank really the Prime Minister personally. I mean, even when there were the flash floods in 2013, he was there, and this was before he became Prime Minister. He was Chief Minister. So the kind of commitment that the Indian government has shown to every stranded Indian in the last 9 years is something that we've come to expect as almost a right. Be it from South Sudan, be it from Ukraine, be it from Afghanistan, or now with the tunnel rescue. Not one Indian, whatever the profile, has been left behind. And I think that is commendable. And I would urge with this big incident, of course, for us to learn that the Himalayas are very fragile, and the development that is undertaken has to be done keeping that in mind. And second,
Yes.
of course, bring some attention also to the local population, the Pahadi population, daily basis.
Absolutely. General V.K. Datta is a senior consultant with the NDMA. General Datta, for me, it is the multidisciplinary nature of the force that eventually has carried out the rescue operation, which is important. Army, NDRF, engineers, foreign consultants, and rat miners. It's an incredible mix that has really come in. But to what extent do you think it was the clear and direct involvement of the central government, almost as if there were instructions given from Delhi that this operation must not fail, which helped bring it to the success we saw this evening? I don't think he could hear me there. If I can take Savio in on that. Savio, you heard that? Would you like to take that?
You see, Arnab, today India is thinking as Indians. When you talk about states coming together, you talk about people coming together, every Indian life has become important. And that is the beauty of the India of today, that we are willing to stand up and fight for every single Indian's life. And that's exactly what India requires. A new breed of self-belief, a new breed of coming together in troubled times to rescue even somebody that could be in Uttarakhand at that point of time. The whole of India. I mean, I know so many people who have been praying for what's going on. And that's the beauty of what India is. And today, when you see them coming out, you realize that today we prayed for them as one country and people worked together as Indians to bring them out. And that is the new India, and that is a reflection of the new India.
I think there need to be,
and that is why
I think precisely, Savio, I think we need to think about what kind of country we want to be. And I'd elevate this beyond politics. Nalin Kohli, sorry for the late start. You know, you've been waiting for such a long time. But as I come to the moot point, Nalin and Gyanendra, who supports the Congress, the moot point, ladies and gentlemen, what kind of country do we want to be? Today we are a country where the Prime Minister gets personally involved to make sure not a single life is lost. As opposed to some political parties, Gyanendra, like the Congress, they've been putting out memes, making jokes in such a serious situation. You see, Gyanendra, if the Congress can do nothing, it should keep its mouth quiet. It should not tweet, it should not make fun, it should not look for a political opportunity in what is, such a serious situation, and 41 lives are at stake. The Congress party should be ashamed of the way it has conducted itself and put out memes on a serious situation such as this. And I think the people will choose what kind of country they want to be and who they want to be led by. I'd like Nalin to come on it first. Nalin.
I think, Arnab, the question was with me, so...
In fairness, I didn't even expect that we should have to have a political discourse or a debate today, because this is a day of celebration. It's not just 41 people. You see, what has changed is that every person is not just a number. It's a person around whom a universe matters. A universe of their families, well-wishers, etc. It's a huge thing. And what we need to understand is that this approach of being there for an Indian, irrespective from which background, which place, geography, whatever, the government stands for it, and that's what we should be celebrating in one voice with what the Prime Minister has been leading. And go back to 2015. You've had so many operations. When a Christian priest was taken by the Taliban, Father Alice's from Tamil Nadu, Prime Minister Modi made sure he came back safe to India. Mind you, that was a Jesuit priest in Afghanistan captured by the Taliban. If you go to Operation Rahat in 2015, 6,000 people were airlifted, 1,000 of them from 41 countries from Yemen. India made sure that we had a minister there. Prime Minister Modi said we will rescue the Indians out of that in a warlike situation with the involvement of other countries in the Gulf. We've gone to Ukraine, we've had Vande Bharat, mission after mission for Indian citizens. And today, 41 people rescued. If someone had to come from abroad, that was brought in. Whatever could be done, we will not just let this be an accident. We will see that if there is hope, we will bring them alive. That's point number one. Point number two, we must also thank with humility to those rat miners at the end of it. We had a whole team of people. We've had the National Disaster Management there. We've had engineers. We've had the project proponents. We've had the administration. We've had the medical staff. We've had the Uttarakhand government, India government, each one monitored at the highest level. Prime Minister Modi in Delhi, Chief Minister there, ministers there. But finally, I want to comment on that rat hole miners, because this is something that actually has been banned by the NGT. But these people who function in the most claustrophobic, tough, challenging, even frightening for most of us to imagine manners, they went in undeterred and did that last mile thing. It's credit to their skills, it's credit to the hard life that they have done and gone in there to save a fellow Indian. We must celebrate finally that last mile, which represents the collective effort with technology down to the human skill. And I think it's not a day for the Congress or anyone to politicize it. This is a day to bow down and say, our prayers are answered, that finally these 41 universes that came out of there, trapped for 17 days, are going back home safe. And they were working there to make our lives easier, which a tunnel would have cut down time for anyone, you, me, anyone else, traveling on that road.
No, absolutely no doubt about that, Nalin, and I completely reciprocate it. Let me tell you, I also don't believe this is a time for a political debate. But having said that, there are two things which come to my mind. How did we treat human life earlier? When you and I were in school, Nanil, how many days did we wake up to newspaper headlines of dozens of workers who have died building projects? And the question is, did we lack the ability then? No. We lacked the effort. We took human life for granted. We treated human life as a statistic.
We lack the will.
And I think everyone, including those who are critical of the government, we lack the will, must compliment the will shown. Because now what happens after this, Lokesh and Gyanendra, is that in any incident, it will be assumed that the entire system will have to come together like they have done in Uttarakhand. It's an example being set. I'm sure you follow that, Lokesh and Gyanendra. Gyanendra first.
So, Arnab, of course, at the first, I would like to express a huge sense of relief at the, the turn of the event and the rescue of the trapped miners there. And it is really a moment of joy and pride for all of us together as in India. But at the one hand, you were talking about that no one should politicize it. But such a blatant way from the beginning of this debate, you are trying to deflect the focus on the Honorable Prime Minister, as if that the Honorable Prime Minister was personally monitoring or rescuing the operations. It was a moment.
Yes, he
where
was.
The focus should be the tenacity.
Yes, he was.
Perseverance of the common people, the common.
But the Prime Minister
workers,
was. Sorry, Nalin is countering.
But,
it's not as if. One minute. It is not as if. It is not as if. It is not as if. I'm sorry. I interviewed one of those rat miners there. You are wrong. I have given them full credit, but I must repeat. I must repeat. 1 minute. I must repeat, and Lokesh is on. Nalin is on. The fact that the Prime Minister has personally been involved every minute into this operation has made a huge difference. It is you who are being narrow-minded by not acknowledging it. Nalin is responding, then Lokesh. Nalin and then Lokesh. Nalin.
If Prime Minister is not doing a favor by monitoring the rescue operation,
Lokesh, let me answer that.
Continue, Nalin.
Lokesh ji, 1 minute. Just 1 minute.
That's
I have
not me.
2
That's
points
not
to
me,
make.
Nalin ji,
The
that's not
first
me.
is,
That's somebody else.
administratively, if the Principal Secretary to the Honorable Prime Minister of India is at the site, it's a final message that the Prime Minister's office is directly involved.
Location
and you've had the Union Minister there. But let me make another point. This is the problem. The non-acceptance of what is the Modi model. Please go back to Prime Minister. No, please go back. 1 minute. Please go back to the fact when Prime Minister Modi was Chief Minister Modi in Gujarat.
Replace him with
When you had the Bhuj earthquake, he was there standing and ensuring it is his. He has worked always from the bottom up. He has worked as a Karyakarta. He's worked as an organizational man up. And even in administration, it has always been bottom up. That is the Prime Minister. Leading from the front, bottom up, a man of detail.
General Datta is also on the debate. General Datta of the NDMA. General Datta, yeah. Can I please
I would like to
request you to be quiet, Gyanendra?
General Datta has made a point on the concept of disaster management. The National Disaster Management Authority of India, the chairman of the organization, ex officio, is the Prime Minister of India. Therefore, the Prime Minister of India is the head of the National Disaster Management Authority. And at the state level, the Chief Minister of the state is the chairman of the State Disaster Management Authority. And at the district level, it is the DC of the district who is the responsible officer.
Gyanendra, you got to keep him on screen.
If you say that Prime Minister Modi was this thing, it is his job. It is his responsibility as the head of the National Disaster Management Authority. Therefore, please understand the entire structure of the disaster management in the country, starting at the national level, at the state level, at the district level.
Lokesh,
And it is a very streamlined activity.
It was
where
the
all
failure of
agencies
national.
work as the whole of government.
Why
Every
weren't
agency works
enough
together
mitigating
as a team.
measures, preventive measures deployed?
No, Lokesh. Lokesh, you're wrong. Do you know which was the nodal agency for coordinating the entire rescue operation? It was the BRO. Do you know how soon the auger machine was moved to the site?
I don't need to get
and
lessons
operationalized by
from you.
15th November. You
Why
need to
did
get
it
a lot
take
of
more
lessons,
than 60
Lokesh. You
days
need
to
to get all the
rescue the
lessons there are in the
miners?
world.
No.
You need to get all
Listen,
the
I
lessons
don't
there
need
are
to.
in
I
the
don't
world.
need
You
to get a
don't know
lesson
how
from you.
rescue works.
Listen, you are.
You need all the
I'm
lessons.
going
You're
to
an
put my
illiterate.
point forward. I don't want to listen to your rubbish.
No,
Listen
do
to
you
me.
know how soon the auger machine was mobilized? Do you think that happened without the coordination from the PMO? How? No, you won't be allowed to speak. Do you know how soon the auger machine was operationalized?
Are you going to
Do you know
carry
how
on
the
this
equipment
propaganda or
was
I'll be
moved to the
speaking?
site?
Yes, Lokesh.
Rescue of workers is propaganda for you, Lokesh. Rescue of 41 workers is propaganda for you. You do not like the fact that the 41 workers have been rescued. How can you call it propaganda? How is the rescue of 41 workers propaganda, Lokesh? Lokesh Jindal, how is the rescue, the successful rescue of 41 workers?
I'll just say one thing. I find it quite amazing. I will only wrap up with this, that I find it is these pro-Congress voices who appear unhappy at this success today. Please show some grace. Gyanendra, show some grace. Show some grace. This is the most intense rescue operation.
Let us speak as well. You will have to let us speak as well. You cannot make political monologue in the favor of the one political party. You will have to allow us to make in proper and balanced
this is not about
debate.
politics.
Arnab, I'd like to tell you,
this is not about politics. Today has been a great victory. General Datta, 1 minute. General Datta.
The NDMA. So you please understand, it is not Modi.
But I'm not going by the reporting authority alone, General Datta.
National Disaster Management Authority. It is the Prime Minister of India.
I'm not going by reporting authority. I'm just going to say one thing at the very end. Viewers, many years ago, when I at an earlier stage of my career, I think it was 2006. You know, Nalin, there was a story of Prince, a 5-year-old boy who'd fallen into an open manhole. And we in the media carried out an intense 4 or 5 day he fell into a borewell, and we kept saying, and we had to scream and shout for the government to get involved. And today I contrast that 17 years later with the effort taken by the government to make sure not a single life is lost. Correct. The media did not have to scream and shout this time.
Life is not a statistic, as you pointed out. A life is not a statistic. It's a universe.
Government for not taking care of the citizen of this country.
I think this country is changing, viewers. I see hope. I see hope in this entire episode. I see a lot of hope. I see a lot of hope because truly we cannot build a great infrastructure without honoring the people who are building it. Viewers, coming up on the other side, the unexpected controversy over the burqa ramp walk and why one side is seeing red on it. I'll be back with that in a few minutes.